Welcome to this week's Transformers review, where we'll be looking at another Dinobot. This week we are looking at Sludge, the Brontosaurus. But before we get to Sludge, let's get to our shout-outs of the week. At 48 South Loudon Street here in lovely Winchester, Virginia, we have Back to the Media, where you can get all, and I do mean all, your video game needs, where you can get all forms of video games from the Atari all the way up to current systems, all games for it, and portable systems like the Nintendo's Game Boy, PlayStation's PSP, and so on and such as the like. And you can also get Funko Pops and comics and other forms of media. And speaking of Funko Pops and comics, you can go to Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles, where you get Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I didn't get these guys from the Time Travelers. I get the whole set of Dinobots off of eBay. So, it still works. I still got some Transformers that I gotten from there. But while you're in the area, you got that comic book itch, you can go to 4 Color Fantasies at 80 Weems Lane and check them out and get all your comic book needs and so on and so forth. And you can get Marvel, DC, IDW, all points in between, role-playing games, back issues, current titles, and such as the like. So go ahead and check them out. And if you need any counseling needs, you can go to both you can go to both Healing Grace Counseling Services at 133 West Boscawen Street, Suite number 10, and see Robert C. Brown. Or you can go to Northwestern Community Services and check them out. So, you can also, if you're in the Winchester-Clark County area and you need banking needs, you can go to Bank of Clark County, any local branch, and check them out. They got good banking services, fraud protection on your debit cards, and so on and so forth. So definitely go and check them out. So let's go ahead. Here's Sludge the Brontosaurus, which he has some head movement. He can open his mouth, close his mouth. His legs have some movement within them. His back feet, his front legs can rotate. And he's a very, very awesome brontosaurus, very cool looking. Not much articulation, but they look good. But so let's go ahead and take a look at Sludge in robot mode. So here's Sludge in his robot mode. Very cool looking robot mode. I think he's the second coolest looking robot mode of all. He don't really have any head movement, but his arms can rotate the full 360. His legs can, somewhat move forward, little back. They can move do the full splits, do the transformation. That's pretty much all here in his articulation. And like I say, he's the second coolest looking robot mode Dinobot. But the dinosaur mode, I would have to say the coolest would have to go to Grimlock. But let's take a look at his accessories, which he comes with this large laser cannon, which is pretty cool looking. And he also comes with his Energon sword. In the comics, I believe they use the sword, if I'm not wrong. But if I am wrong, Ace Sparkster, let me know. And whatnot. But I remember in the G1 cartoons, they usually only use the guns. So let's take a look at him with his guns in his hand. Actually, I stand corrected. I was giving him the wrong sword. but that's the sword he uses. Very similar to Snarl's, and I gotta give him the wrong gun, but this is actually his assault rifle. Great design, cool looking rifle. So let's take a look at him with the gun in his hand. So here's Snarl with his gun. Now, Snarl was always predicted as the dumbest of all Dinobots. You know, Grimlock technically the smartest. Even though Swoop had more intellectual speech, better speech than any of the Dinobots, but Grimlock was technically the smartest and the leader. But Snarl's famous quote was, or Sludge's famous quote was, me, Snarl, follow strongest leader always. Will obey always. Always obey. Me, Sludge, always obey. But, like I said, but Sludge is, like, awesome. Brontosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs, if y'all really wanted to know that. But, you know, good to see a Brontosaurus involved in the Dinobots, even though I think the Brontosaurus mode is kind of ugly. But that's me. But this is still a good Autobot. I would say this is a must-have. All 5 Dinobots are a must-have. You know, especially if you were a dinosaur fan or a Transformer fan, you can't go wrong with the Dinobots. Because you got both, best of both worlds. But this has been Snarl, or not Snarl, Sludge. So as for next week is Snarl. But tune in next week to see Snarl. This has been Sludge. So here on Cobra Island. Until all are one. See you in the next one.